Hello and welcome to this demonstration of a LarcAI HR Assistant. In this demo, I'll be discussing all the technologies that we use to successfully implement a HR virtual assistant with a current HR system, be it Sage, VIP, etc. So the technologies that we use for this is the Microsoft bot framework, where we'll have a chatbot or virtual assistant interacting with a user. Then we'll also use Microsoft cognitive services such as its speech API to convert speech to text, its face API to authenticate a user's face with the system, as well as Microsoft's LUIS, which is its Language Understanding Intelligence Service for natural language processing to interact with the user. We'll also show you a Q&A maker for storing big data and retrieving that in the HR environment. Now, this bot is housed on the Azure Cloud Services, where we also use an Azure database to store data to and fro the system. Now, locally on the PC, we'll have a UiPath robot running and waiting for a work item from the bot framework. So after it receives a work item, be it to get leave or to get a document, to apply for leave, to upload claims, it will order out physical workflow on a HR system. So as you can see on the left-hand bottom side of this architecture, a user inputs speech, text, or some form of media to the bot framework. If it's speech, it gets processed by the speech API first. If it's text, it gets input directly into the bot framework as well as media. So the 3 points of entries are then used either by LUIS or the face API to process the request, and thereafter kicking off the UiPath robot's processing. I'll quickly show you how a normal workflow looks like on a UiPath robot. So basically it carries out normal processing on the HR system. So without further ado, we'll start this demonstration with the HR Assistant. So on the left hand side, you'll find the HR system. Now a UiPath robot can integrate with a forms application, a web application, even through a remote desktop window. And on the right hand side, you will find the HR Assistant. Again, this HR Assistant is housed on Azure. It will integrate through the cloud with this HR system. So let's start off by authenticating a user using Microsoft's Face API as well as the bot framework dialog to ask a few security questions. We will use the speech API to interact with the chatbot. What is my sick leave balance?
Authorization required to access HR system requests. Please upload a picture of you for verification. Security questions to follow after facial recognition.
So let's take a picture and see how it's authorized. Now what happened in the background is my face got authenticated by the Face API using Microsoft's Face cognitive services. So it detected my face, used its algorithms to get a confidence score of how certain it is that it's me, and it successfully authenticated me. And now it is asking me some security questions. So now that I've been authenticated, I can now have access to more personal HR requests. So let's, for example, ask again what a leave balance is. So what is my leave balance?
Checking the system, please hold. Your leave balance is 9.
So what just happened in the background is I asked for leave using my voice. So my voice got sent through to the speech API to get my text. And then it was sent through the bot framework using Lewis to use natural language processing to figure out what I am actually saying. Now, Lewis is a pre-built model that you train. I'll show it to you a bit later. So it detected that I was asking for leave, which was my entity, and intent was trained as I'm asking for what is my annual leave balance. So that got saved in an Azure database where the UiPath robot was lying and waiting for work. So when it picked up a new work item, it actually ordered out workflow on the HR system here. So as you can see, it got my annual leave balance of 9, and it actually took a screen grab of my entire leave balance for all the types and a bit of history with regards to that. So now let's apply for leave, and you'll actually see just how powerful Lewis can be with regards to figuring out dates and durations. So let's ask to go on a bit of a break. I want to go on leave from the 24th of April to the 30th of April.
I am making the request now. You have requested leave from April 24th, 2018 to April 30th, 2018. Type, leave annual. Number of days, 5. Is this correct?
So again, my voice was processed to text using the speech API. Then using Lewis, it understood that my intent was to set leave, and using its pre-built domain, datetime version 2, it actually picked up the 2 dates I was talking about. And using some backend code, you can work out how many working days that is, etc. So now I just need to confirm this, and you can also throw in a few extra things like adding a calendar event, sending a mail to a manager, for approval first before adding the calendar event, etc. So this is my calendar currently, and let's say that this is correct. And there we go. So as you can see, I requested leave, the calendar event was created. I should also be getting a mail. Here we go. So there is a mail for a manager or whoever should be mailed for this. So far the HR assistant was able to authenticate a user using a facial recognition API, a few security questions, and asking general leave balance questions and applying for leave. So let's move a bit further, and I'll show you how you can send and receive media through the assistant. Let's say that you want to fill in a travel claim form. So you just ask the bot, please send me a travel claim document.
Processing the request, please hold. Here you go. The document has also been mailed to you.
So as you can see, I've just asked for a travel claim document and it has just been mailed to me. And also to explain to you what happened in the background, again using my voice, going through all of those notions, asking for a travel claim document. Lewis picked up that I was asking for a travel claim document and added a work item for the UiPath robot to go through the HR system to send a travel claim to me. So you'd think that's cool and all, and the UiPath robot also has some form of OCR. So let's say that you fill in this travel claim document. Here's one that I pre-filled in. So you added the dates, the mileage, etc. for a normal travel claim, and you can just let me quickly get that. And then you can send the travel claim to the HR assistant, where the UiPath robot will pick up the document, process out some OCR on it, and add it to a system, in this case the HR system. So let's see how this goes.
File received and being processed, thank you.
So as you can see, the user uploaded a filled in logbook document, and the UiPath robot picked up the document, did some OCR on it to extract the entries, and then go through the notions of the workflow of the HR system and input it into the database. So we have now basically just automated the getting and uploading of travel claims through a virtual assistant, and using a UiPath robot to actually input it into a system, such as VIP or Sage, or in this case a forms application. So another great feature of Microsoft is the Q&A maker, where you can dump a big knowledge base onto their service, where you can get quick fire questions and answers. So in this case, the HR environment has many laws, clauses, and procedures, which is pretty mundane to have every employee or HR employee learn, where you can just add it to the knowledge base and any employee can ask it a question and it'll respond with whatever has been trained. I'll quickly show you how it looks. So this is Microsoft's Q&A maker. So basically you can have a massive document of a definition and a answer to the definition, and it'll use some form of intelligence as well, so that you don't necessarily have to ask exactly the same question that is written here. Otherwise it would obviously be that pointless. So let's ask it a question. What happens if I get injured on duty?
If an employee is unable to work because of an accident or occupational disease, as defined in the Compensation for Occupational Injuries and Diseases Act, then any period of absence is not taken from ordinarily sick leave, unless there is no compensation payable in terms of the Act.
So basically I asked it a question again using the speech API, got the text. Lewis knew I was asking about the HR Q&A intent, and it made an API call to this Q&A maker and received an answer. So let's quickly have a look at where this question is. I think it's on 42. There we go. So the question here is injury on duty and sick leave. So as you can see, I actually didn't even closely ask the same question, but it did get that I asked about being injured on duty, or so there it responded with the correct answer. So just to recap, you can have a massive knowledge base of question and answers, or laws, or in this case all the HR type questions that an employee would normally ask, and have it ready on a virtual assistant for trouble-free, easy answering of these type of questions. So the bot framework also comes with a few extra nifty features. There are many of them. I'm just quickly going to go through one with you. So if an employee is not sure, they can type help, for example, and a bot framework hero card can be displayed to the user, where it can allow you to, just click on an option that you would like to see. So for this example, it points you to a URL. In this case, it's LarcAI's URL. These hero cards can also be quite customized. I actually used a hero card type of structure for the next phase that I want to show you. This would be called the training section of Lewis, where I'll showcase you, how you can train a Lewis model. I'll show you the UI as well, and just show you how powerful this is if you have the correct people in place to train it, and keep on training it if it doesn't get certain questions correct. So this is basically Microsoft's Lewis, where you can create intents. So one of the intents is to get leave, basically. So this will get your leave balances, etc. So as you can see, there are utterances, phrases that you train the model on. So as you can see, there's a few questions that you train the model on, so that it can start to understand what you actually mean if you don't ask exactly the same questions. I'll give you a demo on that just now. So these are the utterances, and these that are highlighted are the entities you set. So how many sick days do I have? So if it's about sick days, you tell the model, listen, this is to get a sick leave balance. So let's try to get very stupid with this bot. Hopefully that'll trigger off the training. So you can ask it something really, really out there and make it try to figure out what it is. I'm thinking about, going away maybe. Not sure if I can actually.
Querying the HR system, please hold.
Okay, so it actually got that as well. Let's try.
Your balance is 9.
Let's try a bit more vague. Do you think I cannot be here?
Your intent seems to be none. Please advise me by selecting one of the following options. I am 7.03% certain you are referring to none.
Right, so now we'll train this to the get leave intent. Now it's been added to the Lewis training list. So this is the get leave intent. Now it's loading all the utterances with the entities. So here you go. So this is a utterance that's been added from the virtual assistant using the training model. Let's say that it'll use this as asking for annual leave. All you do is train the model then. Okay, so now that this model has been trained and published, let's ask the exact same question again and see what the bot does this time. So as you can see, it now picked up that I was asking for leave, and the model has been trained to make it more intelligent. So in the future, any other requests with the same type of phrase, the natural language processor of Lewis will figure out that this person is actually asking for leave. Yeah, so that basically finishes this demo. So just to recap a bit, using Microsoft's bot framework and some of their cognitive services housed on Azure, using the virtual assistant, hooking in all these cognitive services, using a UiPath robot on the local PC to interact with the HR workflow, you can basically successfully implement a virtual assistant to handle most of your daily mundane HR requests, whether it's asking for balances, applying for leave, asking for documents, accepting documents and uploading that onto the HR system, asking about some laws or clauses or whatever company policies exist, adding some more interaction on the virtual assistant, like using hero cards, or also continuously training the model so that it can have a perfect fit into your environment. Thank you for watching. Bye.